What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another video. Since Warframe YouTubers are starved for content until the rest of U19 comes out, I've decided to get a bit creative. The result of that? A clickbaity list video. Everyone loves those, right? Anyway, I actually had quite a bit of fun making this one for you guys, so without further ado, I present 5 bosses in Warframe that I think are pretty cool, even if they are a pain in the ass sometimes. Join me for a stroll down nostalgia lane as we take a look at our first boss. He's an eccentric, power-hungry little guy by the name of Alad V. Maybe you remember him from all the times you ripped the neural sensors from his lifeless corpse and turned his pet robot into scrap metal. I've included our buddy Alad V because he's so iconic. He's got that mad scientist vibe mixed with a dash of I keep screwing things up, pissing the wrong people off, and still finding ways to be useful to them that I can't help but admire. Also, you gotta give him props for his tenacity. As far as the canon lore goes, we've killed this guy off what, like 3 times? I keep thinking that maybe we should look for a more permanent solution, but he's kind of the punching bag of Warframe bosses, and I don't think we're ready to give that up. Speaking of punching, the Mike Tyson of Warframe, Tyl Regor, with his giant anime fists and buttery smooth voice, hammer times his way into the number 2 spot on our list. Nothing will beat the memory of fighting the reworked version of this dude when he was first released in U17, and at that time, there weren't too many boss fights like this. I love this fight for 3 reasons. First, I love the fact that Tyl talks to and taunts the player throughout the fight. His voice acting is phenomenal, and just about everything this guy says is quotable. Secondly, I love the constantly shifting boss arena. Every phase of the fight brings a change to the environment and new hazards to avoid. And the third reason, well, I mean, look at that ass. It's pretty much the best one in Warframe, am I right? If you like ugly robot dudes screaming into your headset, then you'll love the third entry on our list. Ultimate bad guy and resident robot turkey, Counselor Vahek has given more than one new player a run for their money. This guy has been a constant thorn in our side since forever, and shows up as a standard boss fight on Earth for 4 players, as well as in the Law of Retribution raid for up to 8 players. His crimes include blowing up relays, destroying headsets with his obnoxious shouting, and making Hydroid a real pain in the ass to farm. I do really like this boss though, mostly because he isn't a boss you can literally one-shot and walk away from. It actually takes some modicum of skill to kill Vahek reliably, which is something I really admire in my boss fights. Secondly, as with Tyl Regor, the environment for this fight is pretty awesome, as getting to chase Vahek through the densely overgrown forests of Earth feels pretty neat. During this fight, the game makes you feel like a predator on a hunt, chasing your wounded prey when until backed into a corner, he finally brings out the big guns. From there, it's an all-out test of might to bring this guy down. Pretty cool if I do say so myself. Moving on, the newly reworked Kelida theme takes the number 4 spot on our list. In case you haven't picked up on the theme yet, I really enjoy the bosses in this game with cinematic intros. Since her reintroduction on the tail end of U18, the new and improved Kella has become one of my all-time favorite boss fights in Warframe. Being one of the newest additions to the game at the time of this video, you can also see how far the game has come in terms of mechanics, graphical effects, and mocap. Her movements are fluid, and her face is terrifying. When you enter this boss room, you can be sure that Kella is a force to be reckoned with. I really enjoy this fight because it blends puzzle solving with action, and to be successful, you'll need to be quick on your feet. Of course, there are ways to cheese this fight, just like any of the other bosses on this list, but if you step back and actually do the fight legitimately, you'll find that it's actually pretty awesome from a design standpoint. Now, I saved what I feel is best for last. Our final entry on this list, and my personal favorite boss fight in Warframe, is none other than the Jordiz Golem. Much like Vahek, he's available to fight in a standard group or as part of a raid. The standard mission is also part of a pretty epic quest from a lore standpoint, as we get to learn a bit more about the Cephalons and how they too can succumb to the will of the infested. I'll never forget the first time I walked into the boss room and thought the fight was just to kill an overgrown juggernaut, only to defeat it and be jettisoned into space to fight the real boss, a looming behemoth of infested flesh fused with metal. It was one of the first times since it was introduced that I actually felt super badass in my arc wing. I seriously wish DE would give us more giant looming bosses to pummel, as they did a fantastic job with this one. And there you have it, guys. 5 bosses in Warframe that I think are pretty cool. If you enjoyed watching this video as much as I did making it, give that like button a little love tab. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more Warframe content. Also, because YouTube's algorithm is bending me over like the new guy in prison at the moment, you might not know that I've been working on putting out a brand new board game video every other day. I'm pretty excited about these, and I think that some of you might enjoy them. So take a second to check them out if you have the time. But that does it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you at the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.